Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bitter Draft. My name is Phil, and this is an economics course that I am setting up for just the common man. This is a casual 5 to 10 minute economic lesson that you can do while the pasta's cooking, or if you're laying down for the night and you got 10 minutes to learn some economics. I can help you to empower yourself to understand this world, the monetary and economic world. And so you will not be caught unawares because some gnarly stuff is about to happen. So let's start our episode, let's start our series of episodes with the most basic concept of what is money. So money is not an abstract system of points. I know when you use the dollar, you think, oh, the dollar, what's it? You think of the dollar in terms of what it'll buy, and it's almost like a point system, especially when you don't even have the paper, when it's digital. But I promise it's not. There's something underlying it. Well, there's nothing underlying the dollar per se. It used to be gold under the dollar, but we're going to get into that later. But right now, let's talk about money rather than the dollar, because the dollar is not, in fact, money. Money is not an abstract system of points. And money is not green paper given value by the state. The state can say this is valuable, but if people don't use it, then it has no value. And this has actually happened to every single fiat currency in history, except for the ones that are currently being used now, right? The government in the Weimar Republic or in France during the revolutions, they said, we'll use this paper, and we don't need to use actual money anymore. And of course, it went very badly, and a lot of people died, and there was a lot of suffering. And we're about to experience that again. Money is not and cannot be a token, even if everyone agrees to it. So you can't make a Chuck E. Cheese token, even if everyone in the world agrees to it. You cannot make a worthless token have worth. That's not what money is. And that misunderstanding is what very powerful and rather evil people use to take advantage of everybody through the theft of inflation. So money is and must be a commodity. By the way, I'm going to backtrack. This is why Bitcoin can never be money, because Bitcoin is just a token. It's not a physical thing. Money must be a commodity, true money. And what do I mean by a commodity? I mean a physical thing. It can be gold, silver, copper, platinum could be money, rice could be money, salt has been used as money, seashells could be money. They could be. We're going to talk about what is currently being used as money versus what could be, and how the market determines what is money. So if money is a commodity, then what the hell are we using for money? We're using absolutely nothing. We're using units of nothing, and it really is going to bite us in the ass, and probably very, very soon, in a very, very negative way. All right. Let's go to the next slide here. There we go. Okay, so to conceptualize money, let's go back to money at the very dawn of man. So if you imagine a little village, we're going to have two villagers. We're going to have Ugg and Bach here. And so Ugg he's over here, and what he does all day is he harvests berries. Right? He goes out into the woods and he finds the berries that he thinks are suitable, and he puts them in his he folds up his loincloth, which is X-rated suddenly, and puts the berries in the pouch that he made out of his loincloth, and carries them back to camp. And Bach over there, he has some wild goats living nearby that he chases around with his club, and makes sure they don't run too far away. So they're sort of semi-domesticated wild goats. So Ugg has berries, and he wants some goat meat. And Bach has goats, but he hates berries. So when Ugg shows up, me have berries. Me give you berries. Bach give Ugg meat. Bach says, me no like berries. He no give goat meat, right? They have a problem. They cannot trade. Now the berries themselves, the rest of the village might like the berries, but because Bach specifically doesn't like the berries, they cannot trade in a direct barter system. Now, Bach could think about taking the berries to trade for something else, in which case the berries would start to monetize. That's a semi-money-ish quality that's taking on. But The berries, they go bad quickly, they get squished easily, they don't have a lot of, it takes a lot of berries to buy something like an axe or something like that, or, something that a caveman might want to buy. So he's not interested in trading for those berries. And they cannot trade. So Ugg walks away with berries. He has an excess of berries. He has more berries than he wants to eat, but he cannot trade them for the goat meat that he would like. So they need a medium of exchange. And enter Hrak. So another caveman, Hrak, his job all day, or the job he's given himself, is he walks around, and there's around his little section of the village, there's this shiny yellow rocks kind of laid in the dirt, and he takes his finger and kind of picks them out. And they don't have a lot of practical use, but they're very pretty, and everyone in the village seems to like them. They put them by their little campfires, and they sparkle prettily at night, and the ladies of the village, take the sharper ones and kind of jam them into their ears, or tie them up in little necklaces. And once the wounds heal in the ear, it looks very pretty. And it's a sign of wealth and status. And of course, the village chieftain's wife has more of them by royal decree. Hrak must give a little bit of gold to the chief or something. So everyone likes this stuff, even though no one, they don't make axe handles out of them. They don't, or axe heads. They don't make axe heads out of them. They don't have smelting, so they can't do anything, turn them in any shapes. They just sort of collect the rocks. And it enters the village as just another good for trade. He's sort of, the village jeweler of a very primitive village jeweler at the time, right? And it enters the village economy as another good for trade. And so Ugg goes to Hrak, and Hrak does like the berries, so Hrak will trade the gold for the berries. Now Ugg has gold. So Ugg goes back to Bach with the little metal nugget or rock thing, and he says, me trade shiny rock, you give goat meat. Now Bach isn't married, and he personally doesn't care one way or the other for the rock. However, he can see that some of the ladies in the village do like the gold, so he could use it to either attract a wife, or he could trade it to some of the other men in the village that they could give to their wives, or they could use themselves if they so wanted to. But he can see the potential for other use, even though he can't see any direct use for himself. So he agrees to the trade. Now, why did he agree to the trade when he didn't agree to it with berries? Because he didn't realize it, because he's a caveman. He's not sitting there thinking, I guess he was here, and if you look, yes, he is sitting here, I wish we could develop money. But he's not thinking this complex economic thought. He's thinking, this doesn't go bad like berries go bad. This is much more condensed than berries. I don't have to carry a big loincloth. I don't have to take off my loincloth and walk around naked to carry the berries around. I can just carry this little nugget in my fist. So it's condensed value, it stores very well, doesn't go bad, right? There's a lot of positives here. And so over time, as gold enters the economy and more people start using it as the medium of exchange, it's called the medium of exchange. They use it as the way to trade between one good and another to get rid of that problem where the problem is called the coincidence of wants. And in the modern world, I'll give you a quick example right here. When I go to get my hair cut, I don't go to the barber and I say, listen, if you cut my hair, I will give you 15 minutes of an economic lecture. And I set the little egg timer, and I teach for 15 minutes exactly, and the egg timer goes off, and there's my time, so I'm going to sit down and take my haircut now. And when I'm done, you can you can cut my hair, and then in a month, when I need a haircut again, I'll come and I'll teach you the other 15 minutes of the lecture, right? That's not how that works. I teach economics or do whatever my day job is. I earn the dollars, which we're using as a money substitute right now. I bring it to the haircut. They cut my hair, right? So it's sort of, I turn it into wealth at the time, right? This is what these villagers are doing. They're taking their energy and they're storing it in a physical money, right? That's what it does. Money stores your labor. It's very interesting when it does that. So gold in this scenario of this little caveman village has become the money. So let's talk about the qualities of money. Money has several different qualities. It's the medium of exchange. And so when people have that problem where they can't trade directly because one person doesn't have what the other person wants, right? They need some sort of medium to get between them so that the person with the berries can get the goat meat and the person with the goat meat who doesn't want the berries can get something else for it later. So the medium of exchange acts like that. It becomes the universally accepted money, right? It stores value. That's very important. It has to be able to store it over a long period of time. That's why berries don't make a good. Berries could technically be a money because any physical good can be a money, but because it doesn't store value, berries don't make a very good money, and that's why it does not use as money. And also a unit of account. So you have to be able to say, I want a measurement of gold, and I want a certain amount of gold, and you have to be able to divide it in. So, for example, if he's not buying an entire goat but just buying a little bit of goat, he would shave off. He would take another rock and carve off some gold dust to give to Bach, right? Money must be uniform, so you can't have seashells typically don't make a good money. I mean, seashells is a general thing because there's all different kinds of seashells, right? So, and seashells might be broken, in which case they're less valuable. So they don't make a particularly good money. Or jewels, diamonds and emeralds and rubies don't make good money, even though they make good wealth. They're good at storing wealth, but they don't make good money because they're not uniform. There's good diamonds and less good diamonds. There's same thing with emeralds, anything like that. Gold, however, is gold. It doesn't change. You can divide it down to the atom. It's completely uniform throughout, as long as it's not alloyed with something else or have its value degraded some other way. So it must be uniform, divisible. Like I said, gold can be divided down to the atom as any element can. Combinable and durable. Right? So all physical things have different levels of moneyness. The most money-ish in any system is what becomes the money. So if, for example, Crom, the village elder, said, "We no like gold. We throw gold in volcano," right? And they take all the gold and Hrak too, and they throw him and all the gold he had in the volcano, and he outlaws gold, and gold is punishable by death. Something else will become money, whether they find silver or if they start using, I don't know, acorns or box goat poops. I don't know. The market will determine what the most money-ish thing is. It's not going to be acorns or goat poop for different reasons, but they'll find something. It will be some physical thing that they can use for money. So, like I said, money will always appear in a market. So in any market, the moneyest commodity becomes the money, and the market will decide what the good is that becomes the money. Crom did not decree that gold is money. Gold became money just through trading over and over and over again. Soon the village just accepted gold as the money. So in closed systems like prisons, cigarettes become money. And in the global economy, gold, silver, and copper are the monetary metals, with gold as the moneyest of them all. Copper and silver are really good ways of breaking down gold, especially if the paper currency is not effective at breaking down gold. So, for example, in the real world, when the dollar represented 1/35th of an ounce of gold, then silver and copper were not really needed. But if people do not, if the dollar was to collapse and there was no way to trade gold, there was no way to break down gold with a paper currency, people would have to use silver and copper to break down gold because gold is too high powered for daily transactions. So gold is the moneyest of them all. I have circled all the things which are money in the global system. What I think is really interesting is that all three of them are one on top of the other. And that makes me think that, like, if rhodium lasted more than 100 seconds and wasn't horribly radioactive and deadly, that it would probably also be some sort of money as well. Now, back to the worldwide market. If, for whatever reason, we all decided on Earth to throw all the gold, silver, and copper into a volcano, nickel, palladium, and platinum would probably take their place as money, but they don't. And by the way, nickel is not money. The 5-cent piece that we call nickel was actually 40% silver. So the nickel is the element is not a monetary metal. I mean, it could be, but it's typically not. It's these three. All right, I'm sort of rambling on a bit, so I'm going to stop the recording here. That concludes our first lesson, and next lesson we're going to talk about currency and the difference between money and currency, because that is part of the confusion and part of where the theft starts to come in from. All right, thank you very much. Have a good day.